Hello, our podcast for this week is on eternal security. Eternal security. Another way to look at that is another thing you'll hear people say is once saved, always saved. This is a part of Calvinistic theology. Several churches are Calvinistic in their background and their theology. The Baptist Church is the one that is probably the most prominent when it comes to the belief in eternal security. So, what do we mean when we say eternal security? Well, what their theology says is that once you're saved, you're always saved, no matter what. And I understand why they kind of say that. One of the foundations for their thoughts on that is their concept of sin. And in a podcast a few weeks from now, we will deal with the concept of sin by itself. But just briefly here, one of the things that is in their foundation is that they state that you sin every day in thought, word, and deed, and there's nothing you can do to stop from sinning. Well, I have a problem with that because I think, in the next 5 minutes, I cannot sin. And then for the next 5 minutes after that, I won't sin. And I can do that in groups of 5 minutes until, wow, I've gone a whole hour and I have not sinned. So we'll talk more about sin in a couple of weeks when we're dealing with just that concept. But when you look at the concept of sin, the way I define sin is something you do on purpose. It's not an accident. Have you ever accidentally hurt someone's feelings and that was not your intent? Well, that's not a sin. But if you realize you've hurt their feelings, well, you need to tell them you're sorry. And if you don't, well, I know I should tell them sorry, but I'm not going to do it because they're kind of a stinker. Well, the sin might not be hurting their feelings, but if you know you should apologize and you don't, well, that in fact may be something you're doing intentionally. And in this case, the doing is not doing something. So when you don't do something you know you're supposed to do, that's a sin of omission, or the sin of not doing something you know. So the action of not acting in that case, and I know that gets a little complicated when you talk about that. I don't consider mistakes sin. So it may be true that I can't go a week without making some mistakes. A mistake is not a sin. So when you define sin that way, sin is something you do on purpose, then yeah, I can go 5 minutes without making a sin. And when I group all those 5 minutes together, I can go an hour. I group all those hours together, I can go a day. I group all those days together, and I can certainly live my life without sinning. Now, will I the rest of my life never do something that I probably should not do? Well, probably not, but it is possible. Is it probable? No, but it is possible. It is possible. When we get back to this idea about eternal security, the people of a Calvinistic theology, and I'm going to say Baptist because the Baptist Church does have Calvinism as their foundation. And they believe that once you're saved, you go up and shake the preacher's hand, pray the sinner's prayer. God, forgive me of my sins. Come into my heart, Lord Jesus. I want to live forever with you in heaven, and come back on Sunday night and be baptized. You know, a lot of churches don't have Sunday night services. I don't know how that works, because it used to be if you got saved on Sunday morning, you came back on Sunday night and got baptized. And then you were saved forever, no matter what. Now, it is true that no one can remove you or take you from the hands of God. Notice that's no one. No other person can come and take away my salvation. But I can remove myself from God. I can say, this is too hard. I don't want to do this. If I have to be nice to all of my neighbors and the people around me that I don't like, I don't want to do that, God. Jesus, I'm not doing that. I am out of here. I'm going to get all of them brown-skinned people and I'm going to put them in an alligator camp. And then we're going to put them on buses and send them somewhere else. And we're going to forget to keep records. And we're not going to even know where these people are. You see that? So, while it is true, no one else can come to you and take away your salvation. Your salvation, your relationship with God is between you and God, not any of the others, kookaboos that running around you telling you that you're good or you're not good. So, it is possible, I think, for each one of us to turn our back on God and no longer be interested in following the teachings of Jesus. We can change our mind. Now, I do want to point out something that I find very, 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 very strange. Many of the Baptist churches that believe in this once saved, always saved are groups of people and fund other political social groups that are very anti-gay. And I'm wondering why they would care. So if they're doing a good job of evangelizing the church and teaching all the little boys and girls, and they go down to the altar and pray when they're in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and they give their lives to Jesus and they ask Jesus into their heart and forgive them of their sins. They come back on Sunday night and they get baptized. Their own theology says once you're saved, it's a done deal. It does not matter what you do. You make some mistakes, you make some sins, it doesn't matter. You're going to heaven no matter what. Then why would they care if their kids or people grow up and they're gay and they say, I'm gay, or I'm transgender. I'm not really a female. I'm really a male, or I'm not really a male. I'm a female. My inside does not match my outsides. So why then would they throw all of these people that want to still come to the church out, or tell gay people can't come to our church? If they really believe their own theology, they wouldn't they say, hey, Mr. Gay Man, Miss Gay Lady, Miss Transgender Person, I have a question for you. Did you get saved when you were younger? Did you go down and shake the preacher's hand? And did you pray the sinner's prayer? Did you sign the card? Did you come back Sunday night and get baptized? Well, I think I like you. You're saved. You're going to heaven. It doesn't matter what you do. So whether you're gay or what, doesn't matter. Come here. Let me hug you. Come on in here and be part of us. But that's not what they do. If they truly believe once saved, always saved, they wouldn't be questioning people on whether or not they're gay or not. They'd be questioning them on whether or not they prayed and dedicated their life to following the life and lessons of Jesus. True? And if you were a really selfish person trying to get rich, and you really believe that, why would you go to church at all? You could work and make more money on Sunday. True? And if you're trying to make more money, why would you give anything to a church? If you've already become a Christian and prayed and got baptized, and if your theology says once you're saved, you're always saved no matter what you do, well, then you already got your ticket to heaven, so now go do whatever you want. You want to have an orgy in your swimming pool every Sunday instead of church? Well, your theology says it won't matter. Now, I think that's ridiculous. But if you really have that theology, then that's what it's about. And so I know that I can choose every day to do the right thing or do the wrong thing. I can choose that. And I know if I am saying I'm following the life and lessons of Jesus, and I've decided that's what I'm going to do, and we'll talk more about that next week when we talk about pre-deciding what it is you want to do, then I'm choosing to follow the life and lessons of Jesus because that's the right thing to do. And I need to continue to do that because that's the right thing to do. And if my motives are good and my hands are clean, then I'm guiltless. And I'm continuing to care about other people, to love all of my neighbors, and do all I can to help all I can. If I'm really living every day, doing the things that I know I should do and not doing the things I know I should not do, I don't really have to worry about theology. I don't have to worry about the once saved, always saved, whether those people are right or wrong. If I'm doing what I need to do every time, every day, and when I mess up, not giving up, but getting right back on track, then I'm where I'm supposed to be. So the topic for this podcast is eternal security, or once saved, always saved. I don't believe that's theologically correct because I believe I always can choose to change my mind and do something else. I can be a good person or a bad person tomorrow. I could choose in the moment. Now, in my mind, I've already decided I want to live each moment by the teachings of Jesus, which is all about loving all people no matter what. Now, our political systems don't seem to have that correct, while they're claiming to be warriors for Jesus, and they're acting like the devil. So that is this week's podcast. Anytime I've had friends that believe in eternal security and we have conversations, neither one of us ever change our mind. And I don't think it matters. We have to make sure that we live following the life and lessons of Jesus. That's it. That's it. That's what being a Christian is. That's what being saved is. That's what working out your salvation daily is. It's not about shaking the preacher's hand or getting dunked in the baptismal. That's not it. It's not that water that comes out of the pipes that's in your city. It's making a profession and meaning it and carrying through with it. And if you have gay people coming to your church, you're called to love them because they're your neighbors too. It doesn't matter if you understand them or not. I didn't have a lot of points. Basically, one point. Some people have a theology of eternal security. I poked some holes in that boat a little bit, especially when the people that believe that are the most unloving to their neighbors and want to kick people out and tell them they're no good and they're bad. Well, you can't be telling something they're no good and they're no bad if you believe all people are bad and it doesn't matter what you do. So kind of adjust that theology there. Better yet, forget the written theology and just live your life following the life and lessons of Jesus and loving all people no matter what, because that's what we're called to do. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Look for the podcast next week on the topic of holiness. And the week after that, the topic will be sin. So those are 2 podcasts coming up. See you on the next one.